Good day, Grade 10! And welcome back to DepEd TV, where learning English is easy as ABC. I am Ma'am Carla, your tender-loving English teacher broadcaster. Could you recall what we studied last time? Great! We studied about plot, setting, and characterization. We learned that these three elements are essential to identify and understand an author's purpose. And knowing these terms could help us appreciate a literary work of art. Today, we will study about the sources of information, accessibility, and effectiveness. So hop on, and I will drive you safely to our destination that is full of happy learnings and great education. Let's go! There are three major sources of information, namely primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. What are primary sources? We learned that primary sources are documents that report discoveries and first-hand information. These are written by people who experienced and/or witnessed it at the period of research or at the time an event happened. In addition to that, primary sources include original materials such as videos, pictures, speeches, literary texts, literary works, literary letters, personal accounts, personal documents, and historical documents that are based on eyewitnesses' perspective. Next, we have secondary sources. Secondary sources are documents written as a recount of events. These include materials written by authors who did not personally witness or experience the event or action. They could be evaluations, discussions, commentaries, and interpretations of primary sources. And finally, tertiary sources. I'm certain that you know what tertiary sources are, right? I knew it! So what are tertiary sources? Basically, tertiary sources are collections of information from primary and secondary sources. Examples of tertiary sources are
indices,
abstracts, almanacs, directories, databases, bibliographies, and encyclopedias. Any questions about that? This time, I want to see if you have mastered the types of sources. Tell whether each source is primary, secondary, or tertiary. Number 1, book review. Aha! It is secondary. Number 2, library catalog. Very good! It is tertiary. Number 3, almanac. Nice! It is tertiary. Number 4, birthday card. Precisely! Birthday card is primary. Number 5, doctor's prescription. Correct! It is primary. Number 6, Biography of Miriam Defensor Santiago. Excellent! Of course, it is secondary. Number 7, Taal Volcano Eruption Video. You got it! It is primary. Number 8, web or internet. Good going! It is tertiary. Number 9, literature review. That's right! Literature review is secondary. Number 10, journal. Brilliant! Journal is primary. Perfect! Hats off to you, grade 10. Aside from the major sources specified earlier, there are also specific information sources that may be used in accessing certain details or information. These include the following. Scholarly articles. These are documents written by experts or scholars discussing results of scholarly works. And to ensure quality of information, scholarly articles are peer-reviewed. It means that a board of scholarly reviewers in the subject area evaluate and review the materials before publication. They also contain technical terms and follow specific methods. Examples are research projects and studies. We also have books. Books are resources that provide information in detail, segregated into chapters or parts. They are a synthesized version of information. Synthesizing is combining. This means that instead of summarizing the main points of each source sequentially, ideas and findings of various sources are put together to create a general point. Examples are textbooks and novels. Next is government documents. These include reports, censuses, policies, data, and statistics issued and published by the government in its attached agencies. They could be court proceedings, laws, orders, reports, and statistics. We also have news or magazine articles in the list. These are sources that contain timely, brief, and non-technical explanations of events or commentaries for the public. They may also contain opinions and news. These include materials like newspapers, magazines, and school papers. Last but not the least, reference materials. Reference materials are sources that are factual, detailed, and provide answers to questions such as statistics, maps, background information, redirecting to additional sources. We have encyclopedia, atlas, almanac, and dictionary for this type. Got them? Okay, let's see. Now, answer learning task 2 on page 18 of your self-learning module. Match the information source in column B with their appropriate descriptions in column A. Write your answers in a piece of paper. You have 60 seconds to answer this activity. Hands up! Let's check if you got them right. Number 1. Documents written by experts or scholars discussing results of scholarly works like research is? Letter C. Scholarly articles. Good! That's 1 point. Number 2. Reports, censuses, policies, data, and statistics issued and published by the government in its attached agencies is? Letter E. Government documents. Awesome! Number 3. Sources providing answers to questions such as statistics, maps, background information redirecting to additional sources is? Letter B. Reference materials. Good job! Number 4. Sources containing timely, brief, and non-technical explanations of events or commentaries for the general public is? Letter D. News or magazines. You got another point. And number 5. Sources providing information and details segregated into chapters or parts is? Letter A. Books. Fantastic! You really are something, grade 10. Now, let's continue with our discussion. As those sources provide significant information, it is your duty to check if they are accessible and effective. Allow me to discuss these two terms. I will begin with accessibility. This refers to the quality of being easy to find, obtain, and use. This could be classified into 4 types. First is text accessibility, which refers to the arrangement of words for them to be easily accessed. Second, image accessibility. This provides additional information about the text or concept through a picture. Next, we have audio accessibility. This provides additional information through listening skills. And video accessibility, which provides additional information through listening and viewing skills. One more thing, effectiveness. This is the degree of being able to achieve the desired result based on their objective or purpose. Class, keep in mind that reviewing the source of information is essential to achieve the following. Number 1, satisfy the expectations of the academic community you are writing for. Number 2, show evidence of wide, informed, and relevant reading. Number 3, show that your writing does not rely mainly on personal opinion. Number 4, show the process by which you have arrived at your own conclusions about the topic, and to enable the reader to understand and evaluate the ideas and information you are presenting. 5, show your ability to integrate material from a range of sources. 6, show evidence of an analytical and critical approach to your source material. 7, enable readers to follow up references or perspectives of particular interest to them. And lastly, number 8, avoid plagiarism. Are you familiar with plagiarism? Plagiarism is a crime where a person copies another person's work without proper crediting or authorization. Take note of that. Plagiarism is a crime. But sometimes, we do this unintentionally. This could be when we accidentally use someone's work through negligence or obliviousness. So, how could we avoid this? It's simple. Remember, M, P, Q, C, R. Number 1, monitor your sources. 2, paraphrase. 3, quote the original author. 4, check. And number 5, recheck. Time for another quiz. Answer learning task 3 on page 19 of your self-learning module. Identify what is described in each number. Number 1, this characteristic of written communication enables one to understand, evaluate, use, and engage with written text to participate in society, achieve goals, and realize potentials. Is it letter A, effectiveness, B, accessibility, C, reliability, or letter D, credibility? Right, it is A, effectiveness. Number 2, it is described as the degree to which something is successful in producing a desired result. Is it letter A, effectiveness, B, accessibility, C, reliability, or letter D, credibility? Correct! The answer is A, effectiveness. Number 3, this information accessibility focuses on the visual input presented using an additional description of the information in order for images to be useful for all. Letter A, video accessibility, B, audio accessibility, C, text accessibility, letter D, image accessibility. Good! Letter D, image accessibility is the answer. Number 4, this information accessibility deals with scripts about the video which are required for users who cannot access visual or audio media channels. Is it letter A, text accessibility, B, video accessibility, C, audio accessibility, or letter D, image accessibility? Awesome! It's letter A, text accessibility. Number 5, this kind of information source contains the most recent information or opinions. Letter A, reference materials, B, books, C, government documents, or letter D, news or magazine articles. Great! Obviously, it's letter D, news or magazine articles. Number 6, this information source uses technical language and contains bibliography as well as research methods, data, and conclusions. Letter A, scholarly articles, B, government documents, C, reference materials, or letter D, news or magazine articles. Yes, the answer is A, scholarly articles. Number 7, the use of outside sources of information helps the writer and reader to do the following exact. Letter A, to gain additional information on the topic. B, to lend credibility to the written material. C, to influence the reader to agree with the writer. Or letter D, to make the writing less persuasive. Good going! It's letter D, to make the writing less persuasive. Note that as readers, it is your responsibility to check the accessibility and effectiveness of information. Especially now that fake news is everywhere, we should be vigilant. For your assignment, Answer Learning Task 6 on page 22 of your self-learning module. Let's call it a day, everyone! Always remember, learning English may be difficult at first, but if you put your heart in it, you will surely love it. Again, I am Ma'am Carla. Heart your service.